So welcome back to another FIFA 19 career mode video. We're back with another things we hate video. Now don't get me wrong, I do love career mode. It is the only game mode that I do play all year, and the reason why I make these videos is, first off, career mode needs improvement, and I know that I have a big enough platform that can reach a lot of people and speak for the community. And the second reason is that these videos do perform very well for the channel, so I would be stupid not to continue this series. But the main reason is that I want to get the opinions of the community out there as well. If you do enjoy the video and you agree with everything I say today, then hit the thumbs up button. Let's get to 500 likes. And if you're new around here and you want to see more FIFA 19 content like this, hit the subscribe button today and the notification bell, and you won't miss. So today's list of things we hate is going to get pretty specific because I've covered the more broader topics already in the last 2 episodes that I did like a week ago. So if you've missed those, make sure you go and watch them first. Otherwise, you're going to be a bit confused as you follow on with this series. But the title also changes to things we hate because I want to make this more community focused now. So make sure you get your submissions in and we can continue this series with more episodes. Today's ideas have come from a fan called Kashan who actually DM'd me a few of the things he hated. So I'm going to put most of his ideas today in a video, but be aware some of these are very specific stuff. Now, the UEFA Super Cup is a match that you play when you win either the Champions League or the Europa League. It's a match between the Champions League winner versus the Europa League winner. So before the real life match, the teams walk out, both team captains carry out their respective trophies that they won in the season before. So if you won the Champions League with Real Madrid, you'll have Sergio Ramos walking out with the Champions League trophy, and then the other team will have the Europa League trophy. EA this year has the UEFA Super Cup license, and the TV package is going to be coming in the new update that comes out in the next few days. But I don't think in the game right now the captains carry out both their trophies, so it's not very realistic the way they've done it. The best way that I can show you how it's supposed to be is through PES 18, because they had the Super Cup license last year, and you can see that both teams walk out, both captains carry out their trophies, and then they put them on like a stand, and the teams line up and do their thing. So EA this year, the players walk out, they're carrying no trophies, they just walk out like it's a normal game with the Super Cup trophy in the middle. And I would like them to change it and do it the way PES does it, because in real life, both captains do carry out the trophies. And the next thing that some of you guys might not enjoy is the fact that there's no official final stadium for the Europa League or Super Cup this year. In the real world and in the FIFA 19 game, we have the Wanda Metropolitano as the official Champions League final destination. We have some cutscenes in the tunnel as well for that, which is very nice because they do host the final next year in real life. So it does make sense to do that. But for the Europa League final next year, the host stadium is going to be the Baku Olympic Stadium. And we don't have that stadium in FIFA 19, which is a bit of a letdown because it does mean we have to play the Europa League final in some sort of generic stadium or some other licensed stadium, which can kill the authenticity for a lot of people that do play career mode. Now, the UEFA Super Cup game is the same. We don't have an official venue for that match as well, but I don't think it matters too much for most people. I think they're more concerned with the Europa League or Champions League being fully replicated in the game properly. But it is a bit of a shame that EA didn't really think about career mode much, so it would have been nice to have these kinds of stadiums licensed in the game, so whenever you're doing a Europa League final, you can use the official venue. It's just a little thing, but I know a lot of people do care about that authenticity. They love when the game matches the real life 100%, and I'm one of those people as well, so it would have been nice to see that in the game. So the next thing that Kashan doesn't like in career mode is the fact that there's no FIFA Club World Cup. This is the tournament for each club that wins their continental competition. So if you win the Asian Champions League or the UEFA Champions League, and then the other ones as well, like for each other continent, you qualify for this little Club World Cup thing. Now, I think this would be a good idea to have in career mode because this does happen in real life. It's a pretty important tournament for clubs that win all these kind of competitions, but I think at the moment we don't have all the licensed tournaments to be able to do this in career mode. So I think there's a fake Asian Champions League that was added this year, and then we have the European Champions League, which is the UEFA region. I'm not sure if we have the CONCACAF one and the other ones that are required, but if we do, then of course EA should definitely make this little Club World Cup thing happen in career mode next year. Kashan also says that he wants to see the Europa League anthem added to the game as the players line up. Now, I was surprised to see that this wasn't added in already, considering we had the Champions League anthem in the game. They sort of messed it up though. They're going to patch that in the next few days. It does sound better after the patch. They've used the right part of the song now. Now, I'm not sure how important the Europa League anthem is going to be to most people because we all know and love the Champions League one because it's more iconic. And the Champions League is, of course, a bigger tournament. But I know there could be a few of you guys that do get a little bit upset that the Europa League doesn't have an anthem, and I know that it wouldn't take EA long to do the same thing anyway and add that anthem in for the Europa League, but I think their priority was definitely the Champions League this year. Now this one is pretty specific, but Chrigz wants to see the English national anthem played during the matchday introductions for the FA Cup final and the FA Community Shield matches. Now, definitely, this is something that I'm not really concerned about. I think most of you guys aren't going to be concerned about it as well because it is very specific, but maybe there's some of you guys that love to watch the pre-game lineups and all that. You want to get pumped for the final and you do enjoy the introductions, and maybe you just want to see the national anthem play. I don't know, but like I said earlier in the video, there's a lot of people that do love to see the real life match the game, and adding the national anthem would definitely make the introduction more realistic for these types of matches because it does happen in real life, but to me it's not really something that I'm concerned about. So another thing that Chrigz doesn't like is the fact that the fans do not leave after the match, and I'm going to do my best to summarize what he means. So basically, have you ever been smashed 5-1 at home, or you've watched on TV your team getting smashed 5-1 and the whole stadium, or half of the stadium starts to pour out, you know, they've had enough of watching it, and like you could be in the 80th minute and half your crowd's gone because you're getting pumped, there's no way you're going to come back and score. So you know, you see people getting up off the seats, walking up the stairs and getting out of the stadium. In FIFA 19, you could be losing 55-0 and the whole stadium is still there chanting, ready to support you, thinking that you're going to come back and score 56 goals, which is not going to happen. So I would love to see more dynamic elements to the crowd where they read the game and they know when to leave early, when not to leave early, when it could be an interesting finish, you know, stuff like that. And it would be nice to see a half-empty stadium towards the end of the game if you're getting pumped. They could also do things like relegation stuff, so if you're coming last and you're not playing well, then the crowd won't turn up as much, you'll have an emptier stadium. Right now, you always got a full stadium, there's no half and half, and the only time you see like a half-empty stadium is when it's the warm-up cutscene, but then it goes to a full stadium in the end. So I would love to see things like people leaving the stadium maybe a few minutes before the game ends, and you know, if you're not performing well during the season, maybe have less people show up over time. It will just be something interesting to look at as you're playing. Another thing that definitely needs revamping is the trophy celebrations. This year they're a mess. They're pretty bad to look at. They don't really get you pumped up for winning anything. They're a bit of a mess, to sum it up. So it's basically the same animations, the same commentary, just different trophies and branding. And EA definitely need to create a few different variants for trophy celebrations next year, and they need to make them more realistic as well. In the journey, I saw a scene where Danny Williams did have his Champions League medal, and I was thinking, why can't they add this in normal career mode trophy celebrations when you win the Champions League? Why can't they have people giving the players the proper medals? You know, all we have is the players walking on a little stage and then just lifting the trophy. And we all know in real life the players go like on top of the higher levels of the stadium into the stands, and they get presented with medals and lift the trophy up there. And in the game, it's not really replicated like that. All the trophy celebrations are basically the same, in the same spot. You got the 3 referees sitting there or standing there clapping, and then you got the reserves celebrating away from the other first team. So it's a little bit of a mess, and EA definitely need to step that up next year. Because right now it's pretty ugly to watch and it's not very realistic for some of the competitions as well. So this year we do have some glitches for career mode at the moment, and I have a clip sent in by one of the subscribers, and I've also found some on Twitter as well where people have been complaining. So the first one is a clip where he has an issue with like substitutions. He can't edit the team sheet. He tries to take Martial off and put in Fred, I believe, and the game keeps Martial on the field there. So that's a big issue when you can't adjust your own players to make a substitution. Aaron on Twitter says that there's a massive glitch on FIFA 19 career mode. He can't make any changes to his team sheet, and he can't bring any players on in the middle of a game. And Shaw also said that there's a massive glitch on FIFA 19 career mode where you go to the team sheet and it says unidentified when a player has been sold or injured, and it's happened to him as soon as he started playing the game. So looks like there's a few substitution issues this year as well as other stuff. If you've experienced any of these, leave a comment down below. I haven't been affected by any of these issues at the moment. My career modes have been pretty smooth, so at least that's a good thing for me. I don't really have any personal clips to show you myself, but of course every year there are glitches that do affect some kinds of people when they're playing career mode, and this year is no different as well. So if you need something else to watch, make sure you check out part 1 in this series. I talk about more broader topics that a lot of people want to see in career mode, so click the card right now, it will take you to the video.